Yeah.
I mean,
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, if you're,
you guys might
well,
have to
if you're not Dick Wolf, it's the best time ever. If you're one of those guys, you can argue it.
Yeah.
Because if you're at the top of the game, it was great when there were 3 networks, you own the planet. But for everybody else, this is a lot better.
What did you
Yeah.
say, it's maybe a little better before fin rules changed in 90?
Yeah,
Three,
that's,
four.
we'll go ahead.
ownership. So you gotta do the 30 seconds on that, but 30 seconds.
Once upon a time, content owners, content creators owned their own content, and after they got a license fee from it being on the network, they could put it in syndication and make $1 billion. So to me, that'd be the best time to be a content creator.
I would say digital content, it's 4 or 5 years ago was much better than it is now because you actually had people buying digital content, whereas like the industry has really moved towards digital content is just kind of TV, but with smaller budgets. And when you had Go90 and Watchable and all those folks like investing in the digital world, they weren't looking for television shows. And really a lot of the people that are buying content right now are specifically looking for television shows that have smaller budgets. So I'm hoping it gets back to that. Just it's sad because a lot of, there's so many places to put your content. There's really only one that you can monetize your content, and that's really not a great place to be for the digital industry because we look at content creators solely as talent rather than directors and producers the way that they.
But if you're a
really
content producer, you could start to get scale on these digital platforms in order. And then
It's
move
hard to finance that when you're a 23-year-old kid living in Cleveland and you
Absolutely.
have to make $30,000 a year to like pay for an apartment. And YouTube is really great for the fact that you can actually like make a living there, but there's so few places for you to actually make money anymore in digital. It's actually shrunk even though the viewership has skyrocketed and that space is being filled by television production companies. And
All right,
that's
so stop right there, because this is the good. You're getting to my next question. It's important. In 5 minutes, we're doing questions with you guys, but this is a big one. This is the first year of Digital Hollywood where we have Hulu owned by Disney now, and announcing that they're probably going to go international and do some big things now with some deep pockets. Warner Media just announced their OTT platform. CBS is getting aggressive about their platform. Who am I missing? I'm missing some other ones on the traditional Disney Plus,
Yeah.
ESPN.
Quibi? What is that thing?
Quibi mobile.
So, like right now, where you say that, and yet digital is about to blow up, but it's really traditional moving into digital, is what you're saying. That's the solid, right?
they've sucked up all the air in the room and it makes it hard for actual digital content creators, which is where the growth is happening, for them to actually find any way to monetize their actual content because they've all been relegated to YouTube at this point.
So how about somebody like Issa Rae,
Mhm.
who was doing her content on
That's
YouTube?
great for
Looking
2% of
for
the
fun.
market.
Yes, and then because she sampled there, content creators got an HBO deal.
Mhm.
Now she's season 3.
Mhm.
Would Issa Rae, would any of us know her name 30 years ago?
No.
You would have never seen her anywhere, probably.
You know what? This is a really fascinating thought. Sorry to talk so much, but I thought about this a long time. I never thought about it in these terms. When there's a bust, the way that he's describing, well, boom, where all these buying streams happen. In theory, it's the best time possible. But when you're living through them, and now we've all probably lived through. Each of us have lived through 7 of them. It doesn't necessarily work out for that many people. Like you guys, what was that mobile company you worked at?
GoTV.
He worked at a company when we met that their thesis was pretty much exactly right. Mobile content, snackable content. We've all probably worked at companies that their thesis was exactly right. There was a boom. Some people went, like I was a hip hop producer as a kid and I kind of had a list because I knew all the guys at Def Jam. Def Jam got bought by CBS. Every Warner's is going to buy one. And like one by one, I was right about that. Like there were 5 more deals and then it was kind of over. Like just because you read in the trades, oh, the time has never been better. Don't go crazy. Like this is a long game. This business is a long fucking game. You can't say this is my year. You just don't know. So like a lot of the most successful companies, if you study it, like they started in busts. They started the trial of despair, like the way that blockchain is right now. That this is like now that everybody thinks it's a snake pit, which it is. But that's when the companies will show up. It's not everybody is like drowning in money. So don't let yourselves be tortured by the fact that there's a train leaving the station and you're gonna miss it because you'll drive yourself crazy.
All right, we're going to go to questions now, but this is the second time you mentioned blockchain. I happen to think it's a big deal. Could you give us the 30 seconds to a layperson on what the hell is blockchain?
If you, so it hasn't hit media yet, there's a lot of us doing stuff, but if, like, very quickly, if, you get a bank statement and you reconcile your bank account, the bank says you owe them $100 and you say, no, I didn't. Ultimately, you wind up listening to the bank. The notion of a blockchain is essentially, what's really transformational is the notion that there's a consensus ledger out there someplace. So think about the cloud, every act of consumption. If I send Daniel $100, it's not Bank of America that's validating that consumption. There's actually a consensus mechanism out there where there's an ID for that transaction, and you and you and you and you are validating that automatically, and then when it gets enough confirmations, it's written to the chain to the basis of one of the reasons that blockchain is so transformational is because it takes trust out of the equation. Well, gee, what's an industry that could use some of that? Anytime.
But give me like I use it as digital video. Like you said, every consumption you're putting it on the blockchain.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, so I could tell Daniel I could tell Daniel that we had 6,737,122 views of his show with Robert, and we could basically apportion payment against those views. I wouldn't be able to mess with the numbers. He wouldn't be able to mess with the numbers. The numbers are out there somewhere. I'm not reporting to him. Nielsen's not reporting to him. It's out there from a consensus mechanism, and it's gone.
and you just get paid.
And you just get paid. Now, the road getting there is more complicated, as I found out. But I mean, it's going to happen over the long term. It's inevitable.
All right, we have 5 minutes for questions and we're done.
Sounds like I just made $100.
Yeah.
I'll split it with you.
We're making you guys just enough where you need to go back and stay.
I haven't heard Synfin mentioned in years, but everybody survived, and everybody even survived, if you're really old, the theater studio divestiture with the Paramount decision in the 50s. So, but I'm not a creative